Among tasty seafood, crab is well known for being difficult to eat. But because of its fresh, sweet meat, many people are still fond of eating it, especially the blue swimming crab and the mud crab. Mud crabs usually live alongside the mangrove forest or at the river mouth. The blue swimming crab is mostly found in coastal areas. In Thailand, the fishing gear used for catching both kinds of crab is the lift net. Fishermen place lift nets in the shallow waters along the coast. This can be done both during the day or at night time. Another type of fishing gear used to catch mud crabs is the trap. Fishermen load the traps onto their small boats, which can only carry a small number at one time, making frequent trips necessary. This wastes time and fuel. To solve this problem, the collapsible crab trap was introduced by the Southeast Asian Fisheries Development Centre in 1982. This is a modern trap adapted from an original Japanese design. Collapsible crab traps consist of a frame and a net. The trap is 45 centimetres wide, 60 centimetres long and 20 centimetres high. The dimensions can be changed to suit different locations. The frame is made of iron rod coated with rust-proof resin. It is 7 millimetres in diameter and consists of 3 sections: the bottom, the side, and the middle sections. The bottom section is rectangular in shape, 45 centimetres wide and 60 centimetres long. Bending the rod to form part of the bottom section. The side consists of 2 U-shaped frames situated at the right and left-hand sides of the trap. Each frame is 45 centimetres long and 37 centimetres wide. The middle sections also consist of 2 pieces of U-shaped iron rod, 20 centimetres high and 45 centimetres long. Then these 2 sections are put on the bottom part. The net covering this frame is 2.5 centimetre mesh-size polyethylene, webbed to this frame. The entrances for the crabs are in the side sections of the trap. Two iron hooks are attached to the middle section to open and close the trap. In the afternoon, the local fisherman loads the traps onto his small boat and goes to a nearby mangrove area along the river mouth. On arrival at the fishing area, the fisherman puts some fish into a small net bag that will hang inside from the upper part of the trap. Then he attaches the trap to a float line and throws it in the water. Some fishermen put bait onto a bamboo skewer before placing the trap on the muddy surface. Fishermen usually set traps in the afternoon as the crabs flow in with the high tide and enter the trap more easily than at other times. At dawn, he goes back to the setting place to haul up the trap at low tide. This fishing gear can trap up to 7 or 8 mud crabs at a time. The crabs inside cannot escape and are still alive. Although the price of raw materials for this gear is higher than for other types, it is very durable, lasting about 2 years. A small-engine boat can carry more of these traps than of the local type, because they are collapsible and therefore space-saving. The collapsible crab trap is not only used for trapping mud crabs, but also for blue swimming crabs. This is done by long line fishing. The traps are set on the sandy sea bottom at a depth of 10 to 60 metres. Crab trap long line fishing equipment consists of a collapsible trap, a main line, a branch line, and the accessories, namely float line, buoys, poles and flags. The main line must be tough enough to withstand strong shock and tensile force. Selection of the main line depends on the number and size of the traps used in the operation. Normally the main line, branch line and float line are made of synthetic fibre called cremona or vinylon, 6.5 centimetres in diameter. The length of the main line for 100 traps is approximately 1,200 metres. At every 12-metre interval of the main line, a loop is made which is attached with a snap to each branch line. Each branch line is 5 metres long. Both ends are made into loops, one end being tied to a trap and the other to a stainless steel snap ready for operation. Two floats on the water surface show the setting positions. One end of the float line is connected to a sinker line and the main line. The other end is fitted with a buoy and flagpole. The length of float line depends on the sea depth. It is normally 1.5 to 2 times that of the water depth. 2 cement sinkers, 10 to 15 kilograms in weight, are attached to the sinker lines, each 5 meters in length. The other end of the sinker line is joined to the float line. Crab trap longline fishing can be done both day and night. On arrival at the fishing area, the master fisherman checks the water depth with an echo sounder in order to ascertain the length of the float line. The crew prepare the fishing gear by putting a baited fish in the net bag of the trap. Then all the traps are tied to branch lines, which are then attached to the main line and arranged on the stern deck. Flagpoles and buoys are made ready too. The shooting begins with the release of the sinker and sinker line. Normally, trap shooting is done along the wind direction for easy ship handling and hauling. These are followed by the float line, main line and traps, one by one. It takes about half an hour to shoot 100 traps. After shooting all the traps, the boat will drift near the end of the main line. The crew begin to haul in the traps by hand or line hauler after 6 hours have passed. The boat approaches the flag and main line, sailing against the wind direction to haul the traps up. Starting with the main line, the crew then haul the branch lines and traps on board. Compared to gill nets, collapsible crab traps are a highly selective gear used only for crabs. They protect the catch from predators and also keep them fresh. Collapsible crab traps could be the crucial new fishing gear of the future for all sectors of the Thai fishing industry. For the small-scale fishermen in particular, their careful introduction through the extension program will increase efficiency, catch size and therefore income, so raising the living standard of Thai fishing communities.